His voice was like a low purr. We are all furries now, 100%. If this is your first time here for the Raiders coming through, and for anybody who might be new today, hello, hi, how are you? My name is Naja B. I go by Blurty or Blurty Otome, and today we're gonna be playing Spell Candle. It's an upcoming indie psychological mystery romance Otome game. That was a mouthful. And it's being developed by Bottled Monster Inc. So it says Spell Candle is your grief coping mechanism in a 2D romance visual novel. Take on the role of a foreign correspondent turned investigator of magical crimes to uncover the culprit behind the mysterious disappearance of a sleeping god. About the game, Spell Candle is a 2D Otome visual novel that aims to raise awareness about mental health and challenges we face after losing a loved one. As you navigate the game, your choices shape the experience, and the in-game system will reflect your decisions, providing insight into grief-related behaviors by the end of it. The game is made with the help of psychologists, and I'm like, oh, you mean actual coping? I'm really excited. So my bachelor's is in psychology. Do I do anything with it? No. So this is really exciting for me because every time I play a game, I be yelling like these boys need therapy. So a game that is actually therapy is kind of wild. So I'm excited. Let's do this. Let's start Spell Candle. Let's see what this is all about. Ooh, that's really pretty. How far are you willing to go to contain war in a glass dome? How many decisions would leave you lying awake at night, counting the souls you sent to the slaughter? None. I was selected to be the Arisian delegation's reporter for this year's Dread Festival. Sounds like a music festival. I mean, if I've been in a carriage for a long time, I'd be happy to stretch my legs. Just a few feet ahead, an elven woman is going through the papers of an older gentleman from our contingent. I find myself nervous as the elf's long knife-like ears twitch and her attention shifts to me. I'd never seen anything like it. Her cold gaze examines me from head to toe before she reaches a hand out. Identification documents? I hand them over, and she scans through them quickly. Oh, my name. I'm gonna go with Blurty. Choose my pronouns. All right, we're gonna go with she, her, because that's my pronouns. And what role do you fulfill within this delegation? I'm gonna go with, I was selected by the Empire to take an account of the Dread Festival for an article. And your general, where could I find him? The question perplexes me. Though the delegation had been traveling for several weeks, I hadn't encountered the infamous Shadow Master once. Ooh, that sounds hot. Perhaps because he got bored of being confined in a turbulent box for days. A voice responds before I can open my mouth to formulate an apology. I step back from the carriage and seek out its source. Oh my God. Wow. Upon the wooden roof of my small carriage relaxed one of the most beautiful gentlemen I had ever seen. You don't say. With his eyes closed, his expression was so serene that I found myself wondering if I'd misheard him speak. I don't think I would mishear this. Wow. Shadow Master, may day and night preserve you. Wait, this is the Shadow Master? Stop! I told you the Shadow Master sounded hot. The man on the roof of my carriage opened his eyes and leveled the woman with a cold gaze. Bro, I don't think I should look directly at this person. His eyes were the color of the flags of our empire. The color of blood and dangerous forbidden things. I could get into some dangerous and forbidden things with this one, like, not hydrate. We just started. Let me be thirsty. I could hear the elven woman swallow from beside me so vividly that I wondered if the world around us had fallen quiet on purpose. May I please see your documents, General? Are you serious? You know who it is. Right, I'd give that same look. Like, how dare you ask me for my documentation? Like, you said thick thighs save lives. They do. They do. A frown crossed his features before he quietly sat up, slid his feet over the edge of the carriage, and jumped down with the grace of a cat. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm getting some serious Fire Nation energy. He pushed a stack of documents that was so thick into the hands of the elf that it made me gape. It might take you a few days. Hey, and they're funny. You got jokes. He smirked, and I wondered where on himself he kept a pocket large enough to hold all that paper. Don't worry about that. It's none of our business. The elf blinked, scanned through the first few pages, then flipped through the next few with shaky hands, her face growing paler by the second. Keep watching him like a creep. The political leader of our delegation crossed his arms behind his back, his expression neutral as he scans the surrounding environment. I feel my breath hitch as his gaze passes over me for a split second. The elf suddenly thrusts the pages back at the general and gives him a shaky nod and thank you before wobbling off to the next carriage. Right. An uncomfortable silence falls over us, and I notice the way his gaze wanders down below my waist, scrutinizing me. Okay, stop looking at me like that. Fuck. The inkwell I had left on the seat beside me must have spilled when the carriage came to a sudden halt. I hope you're not planning on wearing that to the welcome dinner. Of course not. I highly suggest not embarrassing yourself or the Empire by doing so. Man, screw you, sir. Everything about this man was irritating. Agreed. The look he gave me was one of complete apathy. You know what? Sir, you can go now. You're not that hot. I hope you have a good day, General. There wasn't a single sincere word in that sentence. Damn. He raised a set of eyebrows as I stepped into my carriage. Making sure to avoid the spilled ink, I turn around and shut the door in his face. That's right. Oh, I like the scenery changing outside. The capital city of the elves. Oh. I find myself eagerly peeking out through the window, making a continuous effort to forget the fact that I may have just angered one of the most dangerous men on the eastern continent. My thoughts quickly bring me back to the journal in my lap. Quickly, I fetch a new quill from my bag and note down my initial impressions. After several days of travel, our delegation has finally arrived in Omnis, the legendary elven capital. The gates were guarded strictly, and our official documents and identities were checked for validity. This year, the Great Empire's leading envoy for the peace celebrations is the Shadow Master. He sports a very unique brand of charm that inspires the awe of everyone around him. I guess? Question mark? He has a way with words. I am blessed to be able to experience the elf's exaltation when around him. At least I'm not the only one terrified of this monster. Wait, he's the monster? We meander through the roads for another 20 minutes before the carriage comes to a final stop in front of the only building that looks terribly out of place. And then the Fire Nation attacked. Are we sure that we are the good guys? Because I don't think we are the good guys here. The tall rectangular pagoda that serves as the Ares Empire's embassy at Omnis. As I disembark, I spot the general already disappearing past the red curtain. Oppressive prick. We don't like our boss. I'm given a small but pleasantly furnished room in the embassy and quickly ditch my pack in there before heading out into the city. That's ominous. I don't want to talk to people and I don't want to follow people and get arrested, so we're not going to do that. But I will take a map from the embassy and use that. I decide to take a look around the enclave of the gods, the area of the Earth Elves first, since I'd read so much about how lavishly they lived. I step inside, yet find myself incapable of spotting a single worker. At least not until 3 shadows of varying sizes shift from behind a caravan of curtains. They speak in some language I do not recognize. Wait patiently until I'm noticed or call out, sumimasen. As I hoped, that made the moving shadows pause behind the caravan. The smallest silhouette, short and stubby, moved to face my direction, its voice high-pitched and snippy. Now is not a good time. I need an outfit for a party tonight at the Eurasian Embassy, please. I kept my tone polite, but I knew an undertone of desperation had slipped in. I didn't want to see the general's smug expression directed at me tonight. Why not? He's hot. We are very busy and a predatory growl erupted from behind the caravan. It better be a hottie. Help her. Ooh, who is this beast? The command rolled through the chamber with a low rumble. I felt myself tense as the tallest figure turned to face me from behind the curtain. Can we see this mysterious person? It didn't take long before several beautiful outfits were brought to me. Cupid made it his mission to look everywhere but at my body as he delivered them and exited. His regard for my wishes put me at ease as I tried on the outfits one by one. Do any of these suit your fancy? I guess with the conservative black cotton toga that sticks to my curves/muscles. I think that sounds the most comfortable. The breathable cotton covers my body, yet accentuates the curves that matter. The dark material brings attention to my eyes, making them pop. I love this. It is a comfortable yet eye-catching outfit that makes the wearer stand out with its well-crafted simplicity. Excellent choice. The tailor praised the way the item of clothing sits upon my frame. Is this outfit to your liking? Yes. Now please follow me to the lockbox. Oh, for money. Ah, well, gotta pay for my things, I guess. Oh my God. I find myself face to chest with a being unlike any I've ever seen before. A tall cross between man and monster with a powerful body and rich skin tone. I want this one. And the nipple piercing? I wasn't ready. Okay.
Put your hands up. You are arrested for being horny. You're going to horny jail.
Listen, we live in horny jail here. Yo, he looks like that one from Twisted Wonderland. Or like what I would imagine Kovu would look like in human form from The Lion King 2. Cause Kovu can get it. Got my face right up in the titties, just motorboating him. As I look up at him, his eyebrows jump in surprise before his lips twist into a tameless smile. Seems like I made the correct choice. Ah! Stop. Excuse me? Getting you dressed. Sir, you gotta buy me dinner first. You can't be talking like this. His voice was like a low purr. We are all furries now, 100%. Oh my God. The ab muscles got ab muscles. And he got little pigtails that I could grab like reins when I ride this man. Yes! Are you a public servant of some kind? God, those eyes are so striking. Pretty much. His bold outfit choice had made me assume he was a famed exotic dancer or performer. The thought made my mind travel in a direction that was anything but innocent. So I was almost glad when he changed the topic. What? No, let's be horny together. Oh my gosh, look at how happy he is. I know I've given him a weird look when his smile widens, showing off a pair of sharp top canines. Yes, yes. He's so cute, he's so happy. An amused hum leaves his lips, and I find myself wondering what it is he gleaned from this curt line of questioning. This isn't a battle you need to fight. Your purchase is on me. Considered a gift from the Terra of the Elves. I freeze in place as the tall creature crosses. Stop calling him a creature! His arms in front of his chest, refusing to take no for an answer. His lion-like tail swishes back and forth as if taunting me to attempt to refuse his kindness. I would never. This man was the Terra, the demigod leader of the city of Fides and the chosen of the earth element. Bro. The intensity of his gaze lessened before he nodded towards the clothing on my body. Pretty things suit pretty people. Stop flirting with me. Sir. Stop. Then please make yourself at home in our city. Can I make myself at home with you? I should be on my way. Why? No. Well, ooh, yes. I pick up my old clothes and my pack before bidding Cupio and the Terra the most dignified goodbye I could muster, bro. Now, what's the way back to the embassy look like? I started retracing my steps, but quickly find myself unable to deny the itch to put words on paper over my recent encounter. Compared to the capital of the Ares Empire, the elven city of Omnis is beautiful but chaotic. I like the way that sounds. The architecture I see as I walk the streets is awe-inspiring, but the structure of the city itself is incomprehensible. I wonder what the spatial architects were thinking when they planned this place. I exhale and look up from my page and quill, needing a distraction from my treacherous thoughts. It comes quickly, as I do not recognize the street I'm walking on. Multitasking is not always as easy as it seems. The marble and quartz are lost, instead replaced by simple one-floor stone buildings decorated with all kinds of dried plants, bones, and black velvet curtains. We need to go back from whence we came. I don't know why, but this place reminds me of some of the worst moments in my life. Oh no, Dementors! We get to pick our trauma. I'm gonna go with a near-death experience? An unforeseen medical condition that I had a chance not to survive. Fortunately, I recovered, but I get a shiver every time I recall it and how close it brought me to the brink. I recall the darkness as I passed out, the concerned faces around me, how weak and pathetic I felt during my recovery process. Oh no. I take a deep breath and focus on the teachings of the Ares Empire, the way to fight back the demons that attempt to conquer you. I need to keep myself occupied and focus on the things at hand. I need to take everything step by step. I think looking for someone to help you is a good option, so I'm gonna go with that. While the street I'm currently on is empty, there surely must be someone I can ask for directions. I walk around for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, taking lefts and rights, making my way through neighborhoods that look lived in, yet don't spot a single person. Oh no, not rain! Ah, this is crazy. Shit. At this rate, my notes will be ruined. I break into a run, looking for shelter from the downpour. The only place I manage to find on such short notice is underneath a small staircase. I'm forced to squeeze underneath, pulling my feet into my chest. I actually like the rain, so I don't know, it's very soothing. Oh, a doggy. I open my eyes to the sound of a bark and find a small puppy tilting its head at me. When I blink again, however, I find that I must have imagined it. Oh my god, who is this? Looking like a villain from a Disney movie. Hi! What stands before me instead is a tall man dressed from head to toe in black. Oh my god, why is everybody so attractive? His 4 eyes are a startling green, greener than the purest jadeite. Okay, first, y'all do know I love me a good 4 eyes. Not in this particular way, but 4 eyes means 2 extra eyes to look at me with, so win-win. Somehow he sticks out from within the gloom of the surrounding environment, perhaps because of the lit white candle that gleams in the lantern he holds up towards me. He surveys me silently, unbothered by the rain falling from the sky. His gaze lingers a beat too long on my ears. A sound like an exasperated scoff escapes him before he moves his cape to one side. It takes me a moment to realize that he is offering to share. Aw, huggies. Come on, don't mind if I do. Let me nuzzle your bosoms. I should refuse. Something about this stranger is dangerous. However, this man and his calm, gentle presence reassured me of my safety in a way no one else ever had. Perhaps it was magic. And did it truly matter if I was bespelled? If I managed to get to the banquet in time? I am pleased to find that it is much warmer and larger than it looks. Ooh. Gosh, there's like a haunting beauty to this character. I assume you are an ambassador of the Ares Empire. Once again, I'm surprised I can hear him. Something of the sort. His gaze lingers on me for a moment too long, though he says nothing. He reaches his lantern forward, and I gather that we should move. As though an invisible barrier has been created between myself and the cold water accumulating on the streets. When I glance back at the man leading me, I notice the way the rain bounces away from him. Oh, he's waterproof. The cloak's enchanted. Ooh, magic. I apologize. For what? Once again, it takes me a moment to catch his voice. I find how easy it is to miss alarming. Yeah, are you apologizing for the rain? Yes, it appears Aqua chose the opportune time to throw a tantrum. I feel the cogs clicking away in my head. And does it rain just in Omnis or all around cool, whatever that word is, when he's in a bad mood? That's entirely up to him. Okay, that's gotta be inconvenient. Do all elven aspects have the ability to affect the weather? I can feel his gaze resting on me for a brief period. No. Oh. At least not without the help of spell candles. The title! It's the title of the game! I should not be this excited about it. I raise an eyebrow at the man as he guides us into a turn that leads us out of the basic rocky building district. What are spell candles, exactly? A few seconds pass without any answer, and I wonder if the cloak almost seems to grow heavier around me. A way to preserve pure elemental magic. Okay. I like that he's answering our questions. And the magic is released when the candle is burned? Is that why there are so many candles? I spot the smallest of twitches at the corner of his mouth. Oh, he's smiling! Damn, that is a sexy smile. I find myself smiling back at him. Our kind light them whenever they require magic they do not naturally possess. The red candles to light the fires at home and warm a room. The blue candles to summon and control water. The effect to which anyone can use these candles depends on their magical ability, of course, but I think you get the gist of it. Can I also use the magic then? Do you have an affinity for any element or deity? No. Then you likely can only benefit from enchanted items. Aw. Flying carpets, rings that part the sea, talking swords, and stuff of legends. Oh, that's not too bad. Oh, he's teasing me. Never mind. I am gullible. Okay. Very funny. Here we are. Back at the Fire Nation. The male stopped suddenly and turned towards me, his tall frame towering over me as he lifted the lantern towards the entrance to the Arisian embassy. He motioned for me to go ahead with his free hand, so I just nodded, turned on my heel, and walked into the embassy in a hurry. Okay, music. This looks like a brothel. Water, earth, and death elves. Death elves? Why? Hey, baby. Hey, it's my boo. Though I spot him in the room, I find that he's engaged in conversation with some senators from our empire, full goblet in hand. Damn, he's busy. A few paces away from him, my eyes meet the infamous crimson hues of the general, who seems to have stopped whatever he was doing to size up my outfit. Pervert. Irritation bubbles up from my throat, and I find myself quickly pivoting towards the drinks table. I hear a series of loud gasps echoed from somewhere before a slick, tangible voice cuts through the music like a hot knife through butter. I told the pirate lord that if he's not willing to go to war for my love, he doesn't deserve me. Okay, who's this? And then I sank his ship to the bottom of the bay. Okay, this one sounds like a good time. Who is this? Momentarily distracted, I can't help but search for whoever is the source of this ambiance. Frankly, even if my sister and brother were on the marriage market, I doubt they'd be able to impress. Ooh. Then again, feel free to bring it up with stepmother dearest. Ooh. I'm sure she'll be thrilled to finally get a morsel of attention. Damn, who is the sass queen? My feet move automatically as if charmed by scandal carried within every sentence of whoever is speaking. I find I am led into a section of the embassy floor, transformed into a lounge by large chases, silk curtains, and burning incense. Many gorgeous elves are piled on top of the comfortable pillows, lazing around in eye-catching outfits. Yet, when my eyes land on the male sprawled in the dead center of this crowd, I find myself suddenly flustered. All right, let's see. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, I get it. So sexy.
Joke's on you, I'm into that shit.
Wow! They're super sexy. Everything about this man makes me want to do a double and triple take. The long hair glistening in the candlelight as if wet, the bright pink makeup, the outfit that I'm sure would look unseemly on anyone else in such a formal environment. Damn. Whoever he is, he commands the space behind these curtains as though he owns it, and he might as well, considering the way the hungry gazes of his entourage follow each breath he takes. No, sweetheart, no matter how much money your father offers her family as a dowry, trust me, she won't marry you. He sounds so utterly bored with the topic that I almost believe that he isn't reveling in the attention he's receiving. His large smile says otherwise. Everyone knows that marrying for love is far superior to marrying for money. His gaze landed on me, and his smile widened. Wouldn't you agree? The pull of attention was dropped upon me so suddenly that I found myself desperate to get rid of it. Why do I have to be broke and in love? Why can't I be in love and rich? Can't people have both? Truly. Such naivete. Okay. Well, I suppose I've always had a penchant for the gullible. Wow. His heterochromatic eyes slide over my form. I didn't even realize there were two different colors. The retort I'd planned never leaves my mouth. You are just my type. Oh, say less. Excuse me? His bold proclamation wipes this remark clean from my memory, and I can only stare at him completely dumbfounded. My cheeks flush as he spreads two fingers in front of his lips. What? There is no innocent way to say that somebody just spread their fingers. Oh my God. Feel free to stop by my room later. I will. Wait, what? Aqua of the Elves. Oh, here comes Zuko, causing trouble. My embarrassment is quickly swept under the rug, the attention of the room instead drawn to the general who'd moved in front of me. His demeanor remains as cold as ever. Are you jealous? Is that what this is about? Honey, step aside. Ooh. Okay, so I know the goal of this game is to get with one of the guys, but I kind of ship Aqua and Latimer. They got history. I can feel it. Ah, the Shadow Master. The beautiful man before me finally moves to stand in front of us. I'd had an inkling that the male before me had to be influential, but had I just been propositioned by the aspect of water? Yes. My brain blanched as I pondered how to put that down in my journal. Bruh. I've heard a lot about you. The Aqua did a quick circle around the general, eyeing him with unabashed curiosity. The man without a heart, was it? Ooh. Latimer, go with this man. Go with this man to his room and let me just peep through the keyhole just for a second. Ignoring the bold flirtation of the demigod before him, the general's crimson eyes glanced in my direction briefly, of course. I ask you to refrain from distracting our balefire mandated political journalist from doing her job. I find myself stiffening upon hearing the mention of the Ares Empire's grand capital. Aqua's attention slid over me again, lingering on the authorized notebook I was given to put my notes down. Oh! Oh my God! It's the backwards glance! Damn! Why is this man so pretty? God, it hurts. He said, bruh, he's just picking a fight. It's a festival, General. Relax. He waved an amphibious hand dismissively. In fact, that ass though, did you see that? It's like brief. I wish I could get rid of this stupid text box. He raised his voice in a way that carried his words around the room. I propose a toast. Okay. Another goblet of wine is pushed into my hand by a servant so quickly that I suspect the Aqua of the Elves has a habit of making toasts. Though the room is buzzing with excitement, it is quiet enough to hear a pin drop. Beside me, I notice the general giving Aqua a withering glare. To the Ares Empire, who have stood behind us thousands of winters, he raised his silver goblet into the air. May our festival once again nourish the millennium-old alliance between our two nations, so that we may stand together against the coming horrors anew in 8 months. What horrors? Drink that wine. Guzzle it down. I take a sip of the wine, and am thrown off by the dry, slightly salty taste it carries. Ew, that sounds nasty. It's an acquired taste. Who is talking to me? The wine, I mean. Surf grape. Ew, that sounds nasty. They call it an amore. Ew. Surf grape? Why would you want a salty grape? A familiar voice comes from behind, and as I turn, I come face to face with the giant frame of the elves' Terra. Long time no see, princess. I want this one. He just seems so warm and dependable, and like he gives really good hugs. It's good to see you as well, Terra. Planning to take Aqua up on his offer? What offer? It takes me a second to clue into what he's asking. It seems word travels faster than wine at the elven capital. I will be doing my job. Thought so. A part of me wanted to ask him what he meant, considering that smile, but I find my attention occupied by Aqua. Our stoic general followed through the motions beside him, as though he'd done this many times before. I just want a story about these two. They just seem like such an odd couple, and I ship it. I ship it so hard. He looks like he'd have more fun cleaning bird shit. Am I wrong though? I agree with you. I can't help the smile that cracks my well-structured mask of professionalism. I don't have to do anything more to earn myself a pleased expression from the elven demigod. His gaze shifts behind me, and I follow it to a lone figure leaning against a wall beside the embassy's entrance. Oh my goodness! Are those furry ears? I'm startled to see a pair of long lupine ears shifting on top of his head. Oh my god, they're all furries! They're all furries! Mors Mortis, the aspect of death, the last demigod of the waking elves. So we were just walking around with death this whole time? He's watching the dance unfolding around the embassy floor, but seems to be restraining himself from joining in. Terra nudges me with his elbow. You could invite him to dance. Well, what are you waiting for? I blink at Terra's words, suddenly feeling encouraged to try something new. This could be a great feature to put into the journalistic piece after I get home. Kovu look-alike, let's go! Would you care to dance with me then? Yes. I blurt the invitation out. Though the male beside me seems surprised at first, his expression melts into a masculine smile that turns his eyes into molten gold. Oh my god. Happily. With a swift motion, he pulls me onto the floor, joining one of the lines of dancers with ease. Despite his large frame, Terra's swings and spins are done with ease, and I find myself able to follow and enjoy myself. His smile rousing a rare, genuine grin of my own. God, yes. Impressive. Ooh. Is he blushing? His eyes remain glued to me as he guides us around the center of the room, contesting Aqua and the general for the public eye. Enjoying yourself? I am. It might be the drink from earlier, but I could have sworn Terra's eyes glittered and lingered on my lips for a second. Ooh! All right, hold on. Oh! Until the music stops and I'm not next to Terra, but facing him. That eyebrow raise! Ah! Close enough that I can feel the heat radiating off his body. Oh my god. Our breaths are almost as intertwined as our hands. I can feel his tail brush against my leg. Oh my god. As I search for something to say, the room erupts in cheers and jolly laughter and erupts into another dance. Damn. But I'm too tired to join in. Or perhaps too disturbed to acknowledge the way my heart is beating. As if sensing my discomfort, Terra pulls me out of the center of attention. Need a drink? Yes, please. He nods and heads to the bar, leaving me alone to catch my breath, sort through my emotions. None of the Arisian generals would dine with their subordinates, and I just danced with a demigod. I can hear my heart beating in my ears, and for once, it's not from fear. Oh baby, hey. I blink as Tara appeared beside me again, a goblet of wine in each hand. Thank you. I accept the drink and take a sip, unable to school my expression into something resembling neutrality at its salty punch. This is terrible. I don't know why I got this nasty drink again. This is on me. I made poor choices. Tara chuckles beside me. It's an acquired taste. You keep saying that. Might take me a few centuries. Don't let Aqua hear you. Might accuse you of great political offense, of course. I find my body seizing up at the thought. The sounds around me grow to dull thuds, my heart beating in my chest, ringing in my ears. Prison. I could go to prison. I could get killed for letting loose, for this opinion I dare to share aloud. I can feel the general's eyes on me, and I have to remind myself to breathe. Jeez, we are stressed. I was joking. Oh, he's breaking through our panic attack. I find that Tara has moved in front of me, blocking me from the view of the rest of the room. He is so gorgeous. Concern is lacing his features. Can you hear me? Oh, his eyes are so beautiful. The breathing. Look at me. I haven't stopped. The soft growl in his voice makes me do just that. You're going to be all right. Oh, he's working us through a panic attack. I love this. The details stir me, knock me out of my fear, and incite an entirely different thrill. I find myself nodding with more conviction this time, mostly to clear my head, but earn myself a small smile either way. Your name. Oh, that's right, he doesn't even know my name. It takes me a moment to realize that I never properly introduced myself. It's Blurty. Sorry. Oh, Blurty, the political journalist and dancer extraordinaire. Oh my God, when he smiles, my heart just flips. Like, he's so adorable. It seems they've forgotten that first part. Captain freaking Buzzkill. What do you want, sir? Any journalist serious about their job would already be resting, preparing for tomorrow's festival opening. You're just jealous. Though the smile on Tara's lips remains in place, I can sense it's no longer genuine. Then the fault is mine, General. I requested Blurty join me. He is so jealous. And I wasn't aware there was a curfew, that part. There isn't, but I decided to hold my tongue behind my teeth before I get on the General's bad side. He looks to be searching for words. Stay silent, we're not helping this, General. It's a heads up for a first timer on the job. Okay, sir. The General gives me a curt, dismissive nod, but Tara just stares at me quietly. I see, an interesting practice. An unfamiliar look crosses his features before he gives me a bright smile, as fake as my own. Something unspoken connects us in a way that makes the Shadow Master frown, a warning to hurry my departure. Be jealous. May the night protect you both. I sigh as I sink into my bed, journal in hand. Pushing my annoyance aside, my thoughts drift, taking me through the day. So far, I find Omnis to be charming. The interconnectedness of all the elven races in Omnis is reminiscent of the Balefire. There is an inherent kindness that perhaps stems from the excitement over the festivities. It is chaotic, wild, and in some way similar to our holiday back home. Novel places bring new experiences, and by allowing yourself to step away from what you know, you can discover the joys of what you've been missing out on. Conversations with unlikely strangers can sometimes be inspiring. Dancing with them can lead to serious introspection or joy. The gift of life has many layers. We only need to have faith in our own choices in order to peel them back. I find myself smiling when I think of Tara, of course, the fearless, imposing demigod of the earth element, and exploiter of all its treasures. Zealous leader of Fides, the elven city of faith, ruthless warrior, aspect, Natura. He wasn't anything like what I'd expected. Generous, kind, obliging. A man who showed off his propensity to lead with a simple dance and a soft squeeze of a hand. A stark contrast to the phony diplomats and ruthless generals from Ares. I shake my head at the thought, deciding that this is better left unwritten. Then, after a moment, I scratch through the entire section I'd written about Tara, paranoid that someone with basic political knowledge could read between the lines of my work. Oh, are you serious? I put away my journal and try to get some rest. Though we are early to the ceremony, the open space is packed with elves of various elemental inclinations and ages. 7 large stone coffins held together with heavy locks and star mail chains lay arranged in a neat line in the heart of the square. A giant cauldron of bubbling wax levitates peacefully above each one, and I quickly spot the 7 lit silver candles held together by Mors Mortis. Though Tara and Aqua are nowhere to be found, the aspect of death seems to personally be attending to the festival's preparations. He appears calm as he runs his fingers over the flames of the braziers, heating the cauldrons, earning excited whispers from the gathered elves and senators. Welcome, esteemed general and delegates of the Ares Empire, to this year's Dread Festival opening. Thank you, Aspect of Death, for hosting us again this year. I feel like I'm missing something. Like, I feel like something in the beginning could have been explained a little bit more. Just something to give us some context would be helpful. I find my gaze lingering on, we can't keep picking Tara, so I'm gonna go with Aqua. The aspect of water carried himself as if he owns not just the attention of the crowd, but also the ground we walk on and the air we breathe. It is almost rude how beautiful this man is. They said he is too pretty. When he spots me staring, his lips curve into a smirk so ferociously gorgeous that I fear my own thoughts. Thanks to the war gods, Tara spoke up when he did. Esteemed guests of the Empire, allow us to once again welcome you to our lands as we commemorate the end of another winter. On this first dawn of the Dread Festival, we vow to once again keep them at bay. His voice pulls me towards him, like a sailor to a siren, but it is Mors Mortis' tone that brings me back. From flesh to wax, from wax to life. Every year, the eternal war takes from us those we hold dear. And with what is left of them, we seal away chaos, anger, harm, loneliness, sorrow, hunger, and plague, and take a breath until next winter. For it is through faith that we hold the lines. Through love that we stand united, through hope that we keep fighting. Let those we love shield us once more from the dangers we've forgotten. Breathe in and take your time to pray. Okay. The general goes first, murmuring thank yous in both our language and that of the elves. Though I can't see his face, I find his tone to be gentler than any I'd heard from him before. I go last from our delegation. A deep pain grips me. I know it stems from the emptiness of what was once, but is now no more. As I reach the first cauldron, I thank the people and elves who gave their lives for our peace in both languages. Then I move on to the next cauldron and do the same. And the next, and the next, and the next. It is considered a great honor to be able to come this close to the dead again. Once our delegation has finished paying our respects, the elven aspects follow. The 3 move in perfect tandem, and by the time Mors Mortis has finished, the rest of the elven population in Omnis is already in silent tears. Poor. Mors Mortis offers after a moment of silence. The 7 cauldrons obey Mors Mortis' command, slowly moving to tip over. Wax begins hitting the coffins one by one, resealing them under the watchful eyes of the elven aspects, their people, and our delegation. Get down! What? The words shattered through the silence. I barely have time to process the familiar voice before the ground underneath my feet gives. For a second, I think I'm blind. The world has turned pitch black. I think I smell something burning. Is there an attack? I blink as I try to get my bearings, but it's as though sound has ceased to function. I make out that some of the senators lay beside me cowering. Stay low. The general is kneeling beside me, a knife in his hand. His eyes wander around our delegation, coolly checking for everyone's presence and safety. The goddess of chaos has escaped. What? Who is the goddess of chaos? chaos! They finally decided to conquer us too. Betrayers. Scoundrels. My blood chills as I realize the only possible culprits could be those close enough to the cauldrons. The realization seems to dawn upon the aspects at the same time because all three of them turn to face us. The word "seize them" suddenly sound like a phrase from a banned horror novel. The elven crowds are dispersed and told to return to their homes under curfew. Meanwhile, we are roughly pulled to a standing position in front of the aspects. General, give us one reason why we wouldn't lynch. Whoa! Absolutely not! I'm sorry, there's some words I don't like seeing in text, and that's one of them. You could have said kill, murder, whatever, but that's a word. We didn't do anything. I find this man's ability to remain an egotistical bastard even when standing before three demigods almost attractive. Almost. That's a weird kink you got there, sis. Did nobody else stand close enough to the braziers in order to tamper with them? The general falls silent and realizes exactly what he's saying. I see Mors Mortis' expression turn murderous as he reaches the same conclusion. My thoughts suddenly dim as a primal existential fear of death sinks its claws into my back. How dare! Let's hold an investigation then. Aqua smiles in nonchalance, but something in his tone gives me pause. Mors Mortis' eyes narrow on the demigod of water. Everyone present is a suspect. I don't know why the three unitary demigods suddenly look so divided. Terra, much to my surprise, is frowning, his tail flicking around, his arms crossed in front of his chest. Very well. Mors Mortis' four jade eyes wander between the members of our delegation and the surrounding guards before landing on the general. Name your investigator, Shadow Master. You get one and only one. Why is he naming me? I'm close too. I could be a suspect. Yeah, what? I jump to my feet as all eyes turn to me. Sure, I'll do it. Be chaotic. I catch a glimmer in Terra's gaze as none of the aspects argue the general's choice. Aqua's smile widens and I find myself looking away, needing to escape all of this attention. The festival lasts 7 days. This is how long you have to get your truth. The unspoken "if you fail" remains a silent implication that hangs over my head like a guillotine for the next week. Oh. Are we going through all 7 days? No, we can't. That's not possible. I return to my room and find that my fingers are gripping my journal so hard that they're shaking. I have to get it together desperately. Who do I investigate? Let's go with the general. Let's go with Latimer. Your summons for the general go unanswered. He appears to be busy. Who do I investigate? Wow! I like how you can pick somebody and they were like, nope, I'm busy. Sorry. All right, Mors Mortis. My head feels like it's swimming as I attempt to piece everything together. Nothing makes sense. There is still too much information I lack and too little time. I have to figure this out. I feel restless. The squeezing of my stomach from nerves doubled by the rapidly growing hunger for something more serious than a cup of tea. It forces me out of my chair and to my door. With the amount of stress I'm under, if I don't eat anything, I might fall sick. And then I'd have really doomed us all. A light meal would have to suffice. Pulling the door open, I find myself staring back at 2 pairs of surprised green eyes. The aspect of death, one dark hand pulled into a knuckle. That's an interesting phrase. Seems to have just been about to knock. Instead, he clears his throat and hides his hand back under his long cloak. I've come at a bad time. No? He steps back, serene, entirely different from the previous burning display of anger at the city square. It's all right, Natura. I was about to step out for lunch. I see. Then I won't keep you with my presence. No, please stay. That won't work for me. I desperately need answers. Let's have lunch together. Actually, if it isn't entirely too bold of an invitation, considering the difference in our stations, you could join me. This way we won't waste time. 4 green eyes blink at me and then scan me from top to bottom with distrust. For lunch? Whatever he sees in my following little nod seems to melt away his suspicions, replacing them with curiosity instead. It's a small but well-decorated place with 3 rotating tables covered in banquet-style dishes for self-service. 1 tall window allows for daylight to enter and envelop the whole room. When I move to sit into one of the comfortable wooden chairs, Mors Mortis is quick to pull it out from behind me, surprising me as he pushes it underneath me after. Oh, that's so sweet. Such a gentleman. Would you be comfortable with having me sit beside you, or would you prefer to have me seated across? The question puzzles me, and I catch Mors Mortis once again scanning my face, searching for who knows what as I shrug. Sit wherever, Natura. We are in your city, and in your embassy, investigator. Do not forget that. Okay, he can be jokey. I blink as he takes a seat beside me and lowers his hood. The eyes on his cheekbones scan through the dishes on display. Ask away. So I do just that. Did you notice anything unusual? Foxy ears! Ah, they're so cute. Hours is a very broad amount of time. But yes, many things caught my attention. For one, my invisibility cloak has disappeared. I'm sorry, you have an invisibility cloak? The joke is on my tongue, but I resist interrupting, stamping it down like any other intrusive thought. I couldn't complete my afternoon patrol yesterday because I was saving a soul in distress from sudden rain. Okay. I appreciate you. I can feel his eyes linger pointedly on me as I write that down. And the death, their immortal souls were restless. He frowns, his ears twitching. Even still, their bones seek to leave their graves through their flesh. Ew, how can you tell? I can see them, hear them, feel them, talk to them. That must be a heavy burden to carry, to be able to talk with the dead and hear them constantly. His gaze shifts briefly to something above my shoulder, and I follow his gaze but spot nothing. That is terrifying. Please don't tell me there's a spirit behind me. I must, however, persevere. Can the dead interfere with rituals? That's a good question. Yes and no. What does that mean? Souls have no magic of their own, so while they can wail and bemoan anything, they technically can't interfere with anything physical. Tomb dwellers, on the other hand, bones raised to mindless undeath from magical anomalies, and this is not a conversation to have over lunch. Why did we do this to ourselves? Who do you think is responsible for the incident? The aspect of Death's expression turns unreadable. His eyes flicker away. A shadow falls across his face, and I know that he's thought on this already. For some reason, however, he refuses to share. Do the spirits know? I'm not going to accuse him. That just feels wrong. They are restless. They speculate, just like us. The voices have been so many that it is not only difficult to tune them out, but also impossible to make out anything any of them are saying unless I implicitly concentrate. I need more time to speak with the city's roaming spirits, but when I have an answer, I will let you know. Okay, last question. Was the ritual tampered with? Yes. How? There were runic configurations on the inside of the cauldron. I blink in surprise. Runes are ancient symbols imbued with magic, most commonly used for spellcasting. But runic is a dead language. Is anything truly dead if memory of it still lingers? That is a very good question. The aspect of death rotates the traditional table such that the vegetable dishes face us rather than the meat-centric ones. Oh, you're a veggie. Either this man is vegetarian or he has astounding insight into those around him. I thank him and quietly pile some pickled vegetables onto my plate, pondering his last words. When I look back at him, I notice his ears have sharpened and his bustling tail has frozen in place, as if he is listening for something I can't hear. The eyes on his cheekbones have shifted their attention elsewhere. His features soften after a split second, and he turns his full focus back to me. Incessant spirits? I can't blame the dead for wanting to be heard. Doesn't that get tiring? Mors Mortis knits his brows together as if the thought was entirely foreign to him. It sounds like you have very little peace because you not only have to deal with the living, but with the dead as well. His tail swishes behind him from left to right as he seems to ponder my words. That's so sad. He doesn't get any peace. The living only concern me when they're dying or injured. I recall the way he stood alone at the welcoming banquet a few evenings ago, unbothered by the lack of acknowledgement of his presence. Why is that? Because hope is the only thing more compelling than fear. Aww. I find myself once again uncertain about how to take his words, suddenly struck by the dichotomy of the life he lives, the aspect of death who also rules over space, elven city of hope. The infamous monster from horror stories whispered under the cover of night at the Ares Empire was the quiet, gentle male before me. I should leave you to the pleasures within the plates. I barely had a moment to blink as the aspect of death rose from his chair and put his hood back on. Aw, I feel so bad. He just wants friends. I just want to give him hugs. His eyes flickered once again to me and then behind me. Something of a smile crossed his lips. Remember, be a rat, not a lamb. The less meat on the bones, the less satisfying the prey. That's an odd thing to tell somebody. And he's gone after saying something very cryptic. Who do I investigate? Aqua? How the heck? I wasn't sure if it was because Mors Mortis had called everyone present a suspect, but I found myself diligently studying Aqua. Is that the only reason we're staring at Aqua? Because he's a suspect or because he's hot? A very ornate chair that hadn't been there until right before I asked for the aspect of water to stop by for questioning. It was carved of some expensive wood, packed with comfortable cushions, and sparkled with pearls of various colors and sizes. Are you serious? Man, this is an interrogation. A perfect seat for the man who lounged on top of it, as if he was king of the world. Legs crossed, chin propped up on one hand, he offered me a lazy smile that made something in my chest twist. Yeah, you're too pretty. He was perhaps the most beautiful man I'd ever seen. It was annoying to know it. I love that the MC acknowledges that he's too pretty. Should I summon a painter? You seem so fond of staring. Oh my God. Get out. I glanced down at my journal. I found it logical. I started off by asking him the following questions. Why were you late on the morning of the incident? I am late only if you go by the words of Mors Mortis. If anyone else had organized the Dread Festival this year, they wouldn't have said a word. Okay, you were late though. Others can organize the festival? Of course. It is a rotating duty between all aspects. It just so happened that this year the pleasure fell to Mors Mortis. Okay, he definitely did not answer our question. Did you notice anything before the incident? Not really. I was too busy sleeping off a hangover. Of course he was. What the hell? Okay. After a long night of enjoying the revelry I helped your embassy throw. His voice dipped into a softer, more melodic tone. It truly was a shame that you couldn't stay. Okay. Can you get hangovers? I don't know. Do we? Okay. This one's a troll. Scylla, Pyre, and Lovek, give me strength. If you give me straight answers, then I'll be less likely to suspect you. I assume you are well aware of that aspect. Call me Aqua, investigator. After all, we are going to be spending a lot more time together than necessary in the coming weeks. Wow. Deciphering all the potential meanings of that sentence made your head hurt. All right, who do you think is responsible? If I was thrown in at the deep end, I wouldn't go about attracting the attention of the sharks. Okay, this man has answered none of our questions. Please leave now. Are you threatening me? He laughed as though I'd asked something terribly amusing. His different colored eyes glittered like sea glass. Eurasians are always looking for a reason for an argument or a fight. Okay, get out. Do you know a lot of Eurasians? A few. How intimately do you know them? And that's enough to draw up such conclusions? Perhaps. I do my best not to roll my eyes. Okay. Like, this is frustration. I will repeat myself. Who do you think is responsible for the incident? Let me rephrase. Do you know of anyone who might benefit from freeing a dangerous goddess from her 2,000-year slumber? I feel like if I ask any of these questions, he's not gonna answer. Could you tell me a bit more about the goddess? The goddess of chaos, the fourth child of the Arbor Petis. According to the written materials from the time, she was a menace on the battlefield, uncontrollable and like all other gods, unkillable. Whoever is responsible for this could have freed any of the gods, perhaps even all of them, but they chose to free Varvara. Why? That's a good question. The children of evil have been sealed for over 2 millennia by our predecessors and your gods. The best you can get on any of them are secondary records from the Grand Library and the Academy. I blink to find myself jotting down both locations in my journal as places I need to visit. That was all very helpful, thank you. Did you find the... I appreciate the attempt at lengthening our time together, investigator. I am a busy man. What? Doing what? What? The grin he gave me as he makes to get up is downright infuriating. Oh my God. I should have a free time slot for you after 5 hours if you wish. What are you about to do for 5 hours? Looking hot is a full-time job. Listen. I cannot. Please leave. Just go. But he can, and he proves that point by making his way out of the door to my small room before I can finish my sentence. And I have the infuriating need to throw my journal at the door. Listen, this man is a menace. As I'm looking down at my notes from the first 2 sessions, churning the new information in my brain, the door to my room swings open with such violence that I reach for a dagger underneath my desk. For a second, the shadows grow deeper, darker, and I wonder if they've moved on their own before the general marches into my room unannounced. What's the point of having a lock? His tall form blocking out the rays of sun from the nearby window like a storm cloud. Jesus. A thick stack of papers is deposited unceremoniously onto my desk, and it takes everything within me not to wince as I notice the smudges of various shades of red and brown along with the inky scrawl upon them. The angry red chihuahua, that is an accurate statement. I put the dagger back in its desk sheath and make to get up and bow, but he raises a hand to stop me. I will not stay. Are you kidding me? I have taken up the task of personally questioning everyone from our delegation who prayed in front of the wax this morning. And are these their accounts? Are you kidding me? Is that why there's blood on them? And did you find anything of note? His eyes narrowed with unfiltered annoyance. Are you serious? Of course you did. He turns around, headed for the door just as abruptly as he entered through it, each step increasing the anxiety settling on my shoulders. Excuse me, Shadow Master. With all due respect, I would also like to ask you a few questions. I remind myself to count to 10, to move, to show signs of life as he levels me with one of his famous glares, and the shadows in the room darken. Can he control, well, his name is Shadow Master. It would make sense that he could control the shadows. I don't know why that thought just occurred to me. Consider these 10 minutes of my time charity for a lost cause. Sir, I am inclined to say that you are the guilty party and have you thrown away for the rest of your life because you annoyed me. I am quickly reminded of my dislike for the disrespect of the ruling generals of Ares. Annoyance washes over my fear, steadying me as I flip open a new page of my journal. You've been to the Dread Festival before. Did you notice anything different in its setup this time around? The elves knew Aqua through the welcoming party yesterday night. He reeks of trouble. Okay. I raise my eyebrows at the observation as I scribble the pointless answer down. Perhaps the Shadow Master used salty wine and trouble interchangeably. I wouldn't be surprised considering the stick up his ass. Wow! I love our thoughts. They are so unfiltered. We dislike this man greatly. We don't hide it. Could you elaborate? He's cocky and impulsive, an attention seeker with zero regard for the consequences of his actions. Okay. Could it be that he was still bothered by the way Aqua flirted with him in front of everyone? Yo! I pushed the thought down, ignoring the urge to smirk. The current Aqua has been present and active for the 2 previous Dread Festivals as well, but no incidents occurred then. I point out my tone professional, controlled, earning me a scowl from the man before me. The Shadow Master opens his mouth, then seems to think better of what he wants to say, and closes it, glancing pointedly at the clock on my desk instead. I do my best to ignore the way this annoys me. Okay. What do you think was the aim of whoever is responsible for the incident? This winter bore the greatest losses ever seen by the long-endured alliance. Some would blame the elven leadership for the grave numbers. Others might blame us. You think someone is trying to stage a power coup? The Shadow Master shrugs, and the action is human enough that I find myself staring. Jesus, not him being human. Whoever they are, only the gods can save them now, and they better pray long and hard because their chance of survival after that sorry stunt is 0. Okay, who do you think is responsible? The seal placed upon the children of evil are of ancient, complicated magic. This rules all mortal simpletons from our delegation out of the list of culprits, at the very least. Okay. Ignoring the stab this asshole just lightheartedly made at my intelligence as he keeps talking. Jesus. He just insults us with every word he says. He's so rude. Whether it is a conscious betrayal or a hand guided by the anger of a god, those who would know to unseal a tomb bound by a millennium-old spell could likely be counted on the fingers of one hand. Okay. The unspoken words linger between us for a few moments before I finally press my quill to the page of the journal again, seemingly snapping the general from his continued unspoken thoughts. His gaze flits to me and then to the space around me before he crosses his arms over his chest. His lips set into a firm line as if he knows what I'll ask him before I even open my mouth. Do you intend to question the gods? The Terra and his high priests and priestesses can communicate with the original gods in bits and pieces. They know their intentions, their views, see the shifts of the divine web before any mortal can. You think the Terra knew this could happen? Huh. If he is as powerful as he says he is, then he should be aware of most fates woven by the fingers of the gods. Huh. The complex web of information only seems to grow thicker and more convoluted. I hate to admit it, but the general has given me a lot to think about in the last minutes. My brain is running at 1,000,000 miles per hour as I flip between the pages of information, picking through the bits and pieces I find important. Whatever questions I want to ask next, however, doesn't see the page as I hear his boots begin to move towards the door. Thanks. Thank you for your time, General. His gaze flickers in my direction briefly as he pauses in the entryway. Do make an effort not to get yourself killed, investigator. Is he flirting with me? Okay, sure. Not everyone loves obnoxious butt-ins meddling in their business. Get out! Go! Get out of my room. What a fucking ass. Never has a line in an Otome game spoken to me on such a spiritual level. Who do I investigate? Well, there's only Terra left. I tap my pen against the desk as I try to structure a plan. I am a political journalist, not a detective. You all right? You look like you want to murder your journal. Okay, this is the only person who has been concerned for me this entire day. Which I do not recommend, by the way. It looks like a nice journal. Oh my God, you are just so freaking sweet. Like a breath of fresh air. I find myself torn from my thoughts by a voice I'm quickly growing acquainted with. Its owner leans against the open doorway, strong arms crossed in front of his chest. God. Thank you. I needed relief. I'm so glad Tara was last. I knocked several times, but you didn't respond, so I let myself in. You can let yourself in anytime. It took me a moment to realize that he was waiting for me to respond to his earlier inquiry. Are you serious? This man is perfect. Everybody else doesn't give two wits about whether or not I'm happy or feeling good. He asked, how are you feeling? You doing okay, sis? You need a hug? You need a support himbo? I'm fine. He hums, his eyes studying me briefly. His gaze was piercing, as though he could see through every little lie. Please, feel free to take a seat. I motioned to the chair in front of my desk and watched Tara's gaze flicker briefly to it before moving back to me with a raised eyebrow. I don't mean to be disrespectful to your embassy's choice of furniture in saying this, but if I were to put my full weight onto that seat, I fear it won't hold another person ever again. Yo, I want to see that. And while I have no issue paying for the damages, I think I'd rather spare your ambassadors the embarrassment. He's so sweet. Imagining the present ambassadors rushing over to apologize to the elves of Terra for their inadequate seating arrangements sounded like something of a local comedy skit. All right then. On the topic at hand, did you notice anything weird before the incident? No, I was preoccupied. With what? Any particular reason? He chuckled, and the sound inexplicably takes a load off my shoulders. Some demigod enchantment, perhaps. I was releasing some pent-up energy. Doing what? Through exercise? With Aqua. Were they smashing? Were y'all tussling in the sheets? Making the beast with two backs? Is that what y'all was doing? It takes great effort for me to keep my pen moving against the paper, but the writing turns into an unintelligible scrawl as his words sink in. His expression is proof enough that he isn't teasing me. His lips are set into a firm line, his muscular arms crossed in front of his chest. After a few moments, when I'm certain my voice and expression are schooled, I continue the line of questioning. Are you serious? Is this a common occurrence? Interested by my bedroom activities already, investigator? Oh my God, they were fucking. I didn't think they were. Oh my God. He lifts an eyebrow but answers my question before I can find the proper response. Okay. He's easy on the eyes and has a rife tongue that shouldn't go unchecked. Oh my God. I just want to watch. Like, can I watch? His demigod jurisdictions over water and love making him welcoming in more ways than one. He shrugs casually as if we're talking about the weather while I'm struggling to keep my wits about me. The images were becoming vivid and his dip in tone and subsequent smirk were not helping. The casual culprit to blame for our wild romps is stress. I am flabbergasted. Can I see this? Is there a CG of this? I'm fine with this. I want to hear more. Please regale me with the tales of your lovemaking, sir. Like, spare no detail. I want to scoff at the idea that anyone in a position of power actually does any work instead of delegating it to some poor subordinate, but resist the urge. And what exactly does your job involve? Shut up. Why are we asking about work? Feel free to stop by my office in the enclave of the gods to find out. Oh! Is that an invitation for real? Because I'll show up. I can let you take a look at all the organizational I don't want to do work. I'm not coming to do work. What? No. No. There's nothing to thank me about. We're on the same side. Are you kidding me? Why were you late the morning of the incident? Well, we know why he was late. Some elven business came up, I bet. Right before the beginning of the festival? When you live as I do, investigator, you come to realize that there are two kinds of business. There's the business you can put off and the business you can't. That's fair. Usually, if you don't handle the first, it becomes the second. I try not to make that mistake. Okay, he's about his business. That's very organized of you. I find myself smiling at this explanation. The compliment comes out accidentally, and it earns me a bright grin. Okay, I love this man so much. His tone softens slightly, a low, warm rumble compared to his usual demanding voice. I almost find it difficult to focus on the work at hand. Bro, are you using some kind of spell on me? Can you tell me any more about the elven business? Yeah, I'm distracted. The question leaves my mouth before I can consider its consequences. In the Ares Empire, the punishment for false accusations can be lethal, depending on their severity. The large demigod at my door, however, simply shrugs. Maybe. Oh, he is! He's enchanting me. I snap my gaze towards him. Was I supposed to ask for consent before attempting to enchant you with my easy smile and charming personality? I swear to God, this man is gonna be the death of me. I could not. How are we managing to ask questions? If I was in this game, I would be a sputtering, flustered mess. I'd be on the floor. Actually, no, I'd be on that bed like, sir, just forget the questioning. Just take me now. Or am I not your type? Oh, you are 1000% my type. That wasn't funny. I found it plenty funny. You should have seen your face. You looked like you were contemplating murder again. I now know how that journal felt earlier. Let me tell you, it's not a pleasant feeling. I roll my eyes, unwilling to admit that his grin is infectious, despite having a matching one plastered on my face. Okay, who do you think is responsible? The terror's eyes narrow at my question, his lips pursing into a scowl. Whoever they are, they couldn't have escaped far. I put Omnis into lockdown. No one can leave or enter. That wasn't my question. His eyes, like molten gold, slide to me, and for a split second, I could imagine what it was like to be this man's enemy. To stand against a man who could move a mountain, literally. Jesus. Someone or something that wishes to weaken us, to drive fear into the hearts of our people? And when I find them, I will tear them to pieces with my bare hands and let them rot on the altar of celebration until the crows have picked the meat clean from the remains and the Barretts have dissolved the bones with their shit. Good fucking God. That's the most sexy, terrifying thing I have ever read. Holy shit. I'm turned on. Yeah, I write down every word. Silence stretches out between us, the only sound of ink on paper before I look up at the demigod before me, another question on my mind. Can a lockdown hold a child of evil? The goddess of chaos, Vivare, has already proven her domain through escaping her seal. The way we can balance chaos is through order. I do that best. You think that you'd stave off her corruption by simply making your people follow your demands? Curfew, increased security, tracking spells. If there's anyone who can catch a source of havoc and neutralize it, then that will be me. Ooh. Well, no wonder you were with Aqua, because that's an agent of chaos if I ever saw one. Cocky. I simply have faith in myself. Fair. He picks a puff of who knows what off his bracers, examines it unceremoniously before flicking it into a small empty bin beside my door. Is that draconic leather? A gift from your Mercuzio after I ripped the Ignis's arm off a few years ago. What? The wound lessened the burden on your northern borders significantly, or so I've been told. Mercutio, the Aegeus of the Ares Empire, the strongest male dragon, he ruled his territory of Eastern Dragonfang with an iron fist. His name usually inspires fear and awe within me. I didn't recognize those feelings stirring now. The Terra's easygoing first-name basis approach had shocked me into stupor. A knock sounded on the door, breaking us away from our session. No! For a man so famous for his control, he sure had no problem giving it away. I'd half expected him to answer before I'd blinked. Come in. The door creaks open and I find myself looking at a handsome, lithe, silver-haired elf who offers the Terra a low bow. Allura. You are needed in the square to help us set up the fire dancing festival, Natura. Of course, I will be right there. Though I am annoyed by the interruption, I nod my head when Terra's gaze returns to me. I will see you at the fire dancing then, investigator. Do you have appropriate clothes for the event? Do I need appropriate clothes? I'll have some sent to your room before tonight then. Are you always buying strangers whole new wardrobes? Usually only those that ask nicely. Okay, first off, if a man is buying you clothes, they are buying you clothes that they want to take off of you. So the fact that Terra keeps buying me clothes is because these are the clothes that this man wants to rip off of me. Take notes. I'm coming, Allura. What is happening? No! No! It's the end of the demo! Sadness! I want more! Ah, that was so good! I feared this moment would come too. And we got all the CGs. Now we can look at them. Look at this. This is our sexy general. Look at him. That is a slutty pose. Then we got this one. I love looking up at this man. Like, there's just something about it. Oof, does things to me. And the nipple piercings, bro. Like, And then this one. I'm like terrified, but also really turned on by this. Like, I don't know. Like, the snoo might kill me, but I'm okay with it. And then we got this one. Good friggin' God. Why? Why do these men always have to be prettier than me? It's not fair. Damn, look at them thighs. Jesus, and is that a tail? Oh my God, I understand why Terra and Aqua have their little rendezvous. This is, whew. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. What else? We got another one, right? And then the final one with all four of them together. Look at and of course they're standing right next to each other. They got the two awkward beings over here looking in opposite directions. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing at this party. Oh my God. I had so much fun with this. This was so much fun. I'm definitely gonna have to play this game when it comes out because I need to know what's going on, and I want to spend more time with Terra. Of all the characters, Terra is my favorite, probably my type. And I just love how honest and straightforward he is about things. And absolutely freaking gorgeous. Like, oh my God. Like, that's a man. That's a whole man. And then Aqua is just... Aqua too damn pretty. I can't. Mors Mortis is a little terrifying, but also sad. And I kind of want to hug them and give them head pats. Like, I don't know if I want to bend them over and, you know, have my way with them, but I want to be a friend to them. And then, who am I missing? The General. The General is such a shit. Like, I feel like that man is probably going to be my favorite because I do love a challenge. And he's just so, he's such a butt. Blurty single-handedly emptied my wallet with Otome releases. Listen! I don't be trying to. I find these games and I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should play this. But yeah, okay, this was so much fun. Definitely get the game. It is on Steam right now. The demo's on Steam. Let's see. There's the link to the Steam page. Definitely go play the demo. Wishlist it on Steam. Wishlisting does help so that folks know that you're interested in it, and it does bump it up in the ratings a bit. So definitely check it out. I'm very curious about this. And I want to say thank you to the devs. They actually reached out to me via email and asked if I could play the game. And I'm so glad I played this. This is so much fun. I was initially pulled in by the gorgeous art, and it did not disappoint. This game is gorgeous. It's kind of got a touch-starved kind of vibe to it, and I'm very curious to see how it plays out. I want to know which one of them is guilty. I also want to know if like how the grief and the coping with grief and the psychological stuff plays into the romance elements of the story. So I want to know how that works. This is the link to the pre-launch Kickstarter page so that you can be notified when it launches, and you can throw your money at them. So definitely be sure to click to be notified on the Kickstarter for when that launches. Check out the demo. Be sure to share it with your friends, your family, your coworkers, everybody. Let everybody know that this game is amazing. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is in your neck of the woods. And I will catch you all in the next stream. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.